Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopidana Lava Girivaradari Yasanana Gajanana Randana Yasanana Gajanana Randana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Gayarana Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasani Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan Yogi ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 22, entitled Prithu Maharaj's Meeting with the Kumaras. Okay. Shastre Sviyane Vasunischito Nrinam Ksimasya Sadreyak Vrimeshu Detu Ashangayatma Vyatirikta Atmani Dridaratir Brahmani Nirgune Chaya Shastre Sviyane Vasunischito Nrinam Ksimasya Sadreyak Vrimeshe Suhitu Ashangayatma Vyatirikta Atmani Dridaratir Brahmani Nirgune Chaye Shastre Sviyane Vasunischito Nrinam Ksimasya Sadreyak Vrimeshe Suhitu Ashangayatma Vyatirikta Yatmani Dridaratir Brahmani Nirgune Chaye Chaya.
सुनिश्चितो नृणाम् क्षेमस्य साध्याग्विशेषु हेतु असंग आत्मा व्यतिरिक्त आत्मनि दृढरते ब्रह्मणि निर्गुणे च
Ladies,
शास्त्रेष्वयानेव सुनिश्चितो नृणाम् क्षेमस्य सद्रयग्विमृशेषु हेतु असंग आत्मा व्यतिरिक्त आत्मनि दृढारते ब्रह्मणि निर्गुणे च या
one more. Shastreshu, in the scriptures, Iyaneva, this is only, Sunishchitaha, positively concluded, Nrena, of human society, Kshemasya, of the ultimate welfare, Sadreyak, perfectly, Vrimisheshu, by full consideration, Hetu, cause, Asanga, detachment, Atmavyatirikte, the bodily concept of life, Atmani, unto the Supreme Soul, Drida, strong, Rati, attachment, Brahmani, transcendence, Nirgune, in the Supreme, who is beyond the material modes. Cha, end. Ya, which. Translation. It has been conclusively decided in the scriptures, after due consideration, that the ultimate goal for the welfare of human society is detachment from the bodily concept of life and increased and steadfast attachment for the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental beyond the modes of material nature. Purport. Everyone in human society is engaged for the ultimate benefit of life, but persons who are in the bodily conception cannot achieve the ultimate goal, nor can they understand what it is. The ultimate goal of life is described in the Bhagavad Gita 2:59, Paramdrisanivartate. When one finds out the supreme goal of life, he naturally becomes detached from the bodily concept. Here in this verse, the indication is that one has to steadfastly increase attachment for the transcendence, Brahmani, as confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra 111. Ato Brahma Yigyasa, without inquiry about the supreme or the transcendence, one cannot give up attachment for this material world. By the evolutionary process in 8,400,000 species of life, one cannot understand the ultimate goal of life, because in all those species of life, the bodily conception is very prominent. Atato Brahma Yigyasa means that in order to get out of the bodily conception, one has to increase attachment to or inquiry about Brahman. Then he can be situated in a transcendental devotional service, Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, to increase attachment for Brahman means to engage in devotional service. Those who are attached to the impersonal form of Brahman cannot remain attached for very long. Impersonalists, after rejecting this world as mithya or false, Jagan Mithya, come down again to this Jagan Mithya, although they take sannyas to increase their attachment for Brahman. Similarly, many yogis are attached to the localized aspect of Brahman as Paramatma. Great sages like Vishwamrita also fall down as victims to women. Therefore, increased attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is advised in all Shastras. That is the only way of detachment from material existence, and is explained in Bhagavad Gita 259 as Param Drista Nivartate. One can seize material activities when he actually has the taste for devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommended love of Godhead as the ultimate goal of life, Prema Pumartha Mahan. Without increasing love of Godhead, one cannot achieve the perfectional stage of the transcendental position. Om Ajnanatimarandasya Gyanandana Salakaya Shakshurun Militam Yana Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, the entire world in all different species, all living beings are caught up in the bodily concept of life. That is the nature of the illusory energy. That when we take birth in this world, we are in the bodily concept of life. Therefore, it is said, Janmanam Jayate Sudra. By birth, everyone is a Sudra. That means in the bodily concept of life. Then it says, Sanskarit Bhavet Dvija. By sanskara, one can become twice born. So by a ritualistic performance, we can become aware. We can become aware that we are not this body. That is by culture, in other words, not by birth. By birth, all living beings, including human beings, are in the bodily concept of life. It is only by culture that we can rise above, by education, then by training. Sanskaret bhavet vijja. Vedapatet bhavet vipra. It is then by following the injunctions of the Vedas that we can learn how to engage in positive ritualistic activity. But that deals mainly with the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas, which is found in the Dharma Shastra, such as the Manu Samhita. And it is not surprising that in Indian society, that Dharma Shastra came to the foreground. And why is it so? Because it dealt with practical things of life. Whereas the Upanishads, they deal with impersonal liberation, which is far from everyday life. But the Dharma Shastras are dealing with how to conceive children, how to get blessings once children are expected, how to get blessings when they are born, how to get blessings in marriage, how to get blessings in so many ways. When to start education, all these things practical. Something that we can deal with. Impersonal liberation, very difficult to pursue. because the emphasis for attaining moksha or mukti was detachment. And then how can you practice detachment? It is very difficult. When in this world, everything makes us attached. From the day you're born. Oh yes, your mother makes a nice soft bed, comfortable. She's your dedicated servant. Whatever you require, she has to supply. And if not, you'll let her know. So in this way, we grow up, and the bodily concept of life is reinforced. First, as a child, we are the center of the universe. Then gradually our vision expands, and we begin to think not only of our own welfare, but extended welfare. We begin to see that if I invest in my neighbors, then they'll behave nicely towards me. And then that will also be for my welfare. So we still stay the center of the universe, but in this case our universe becomes greater, and we'll have social relationships with neighbors, with society at large, and all to our own advantage and betterment in this world. And in this way, still, even our acts of selflessness, even when we give a donation for a good cause, right? Still, it is increasing the bodily concept of life. So by the time that we are adults, we are thoroughly established in the bodily concept of life, which then is described as aham mameti, I and mine. I and mine. So, and in this way, sometimes Prabhupada uses the term extended selfishness, not just focused immediately on us directly, but extended selfishness. Through other things, we also increase in glory, in facility. I'm a very charitable man. I do so many things for others. No, really, yes. Yes, extended selfishness, you know. I mean, really, I gave such a large donation and my name wasn't mentioned. Man, really, during the festival. I mean, there was no mention of my name at all. How, I mean, intolerable, unthinkable. I mean, don't they know how to deal properly? You know, well, I'll never give a donation again. Name, fame, and glory was in the back of the mind. Not so much in the back, actually, quite in the forefront. Yes, so this bodily concept of life is very difficult to overcome. And yes, we are being educated to belong to a certain community. Oh, you are a Gujarati, you're a Punjabi, you are... It's like, I didn't know I was a Punjabi, but now you are a Punjabi because you took birth in a Punjabi family and you have to eat parathas. Right? That's it. No. You have to, whether you want or not. That's the way it is. So a culture is imposed upon us, and it is anthropologists who study. They study the nature of man and culture of man, and the combination of these two. And it says, an anthropologist typically says, man is suspended between nature and culture. So an anthropological statement was that it's hard to separate nature from culture, because culture becomes a second nature. So much so that you think, this is my nature. Human beings are trained like that. Animals, they simply behave according to impulse and instinct. But human beings, it is an interesting combination of nature and culture, and it gets drilled into us to a point where we sometimes find it difficult to find the borderline between the two. Oh. Srila Prabhupada used to give the example of a person who wanted to learn music. And everyone had said, actually, this person was very gifted in music. Very gifted, very talented person. So everyone would say, oh, you should study music because you are a natural. No, really, you are a natural. You're really, really good. So you learn. So he went to the music school, and when he tried to enroll in the music school, they charged him quite a sum. And then when he inquired, he found out that other students were paying half. So he went back, hey, what? You are cheating me? You're charging double. Others, they pay only half. So you're cheating me. He says, no. They said at the school. No, we're charging you the right price. What do you mean? You're charging them half price, and I already know music. I already know. They know nothing. I know more than them. And you're charging me double? I said, yes. Yes, we're charging you double because it's going to take more effort to teach you because you've learned so many things already and you learned it all wrong. So we have to re-educate you. Right? And that's going to take an effort. Whereas the others know nothing, it will be easier to teach them everything properly from the beginning. So it is like this. When we come to spiritual life, then we'll have to undo what has been done. So in the beginning, all these ideas are there. You don't have to tell me anything. We know everything. Everything. What do you think? Everything we know. No, you may know something from Vedic culture, although it may not be perfect, because over the millennia, over thousands and thousands of years, some speculation has also entered into the procedures. But we may know, but what do we know about pure devotional service? Pure devotional service is well hidden. Mukti dadati bhakti na karichit. Liberation, yes, I will give you. You want? Mukti, lelo ya. I will give you. You want it? Take it. Bhakti? No, bhakti, I don't have any bhakti, Krishna says. Mukti, yes, I will give you. Bhakti, I don't have. Krishna? Yes. What are you hiding behind your back? Behind my back? Nothing. Krishna, what is that? Oh, that. Oh, that bhakti. Oh, you want that? Yes, I want that. All right, then I will give you. So in this way, in Bhagavatam it is explained that Krishna is hiding bhakti. It is in the Bhagavad Gita described as the confidential knowledge. Rajavija Rajaguyam. It is said the topmost knowledge, Rajavija, and it is also Rajaguyam. It is hidden. It is Guya. So this hidden knowledge, yes, is not widely available. In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, we find the description of Gopakumar. And Gopakumar is somehow or other, by the power of his mantra, able to travel through the universe. And by the power of his mantra, he goes to various planetary regions. At one point, he comes up in the planets, in the planetary systems, to Brahmaloka, the abode of Lord Brahma. it is then that Lord Brahma is saying to Gopakumar, oh, great that you are here, because I have to go for some sacrifice and I just needed someone to look after all the affairs. So next moment, there he was. Gopakumar was in charge on Brahmaloka. It was all going on. So one day all the Vedas personified assembled in the court of Lord Brahma. And Gopakumar was presiding over the function, and as the Vedas assembled, the Upanishads began to speak very loud, and they began to explain the conclusions of impersonal Brahman with great force. At one point, some Puranas, some confidential Upanishads, and some of the Agamas. Agamas are scriptures that deal with ritual, actually. So some Puranas, some confidential Upanishads, and some confidential Agamas, they could no longer tolerate it. These Agamas are also known as Pancharatra. So we have the Narada Pancharatra, we have the Bhakti Sutras, and a lot of the things that come back in the nectar of devotion are finding its roots in Pancharatra. Yeah? So we have the Vedic literatures, various branches, the four Vedas, the Upanishads, and then we have the Agamas and the Pancharatra. And so those confidential scriptures that left the assembly, they just walked out. So you can imagine if I am speaking and suddenly a whole group in the middle stands up and walks out, right? Especially the seniors. Let's say some of the Prabhupada disciples walk out with their nose up, and what will I do? I would be there. We'd go after them and say, no, please, don't go. Sorry, can't go. Don't go. We would say, no, don't go. We try to bring them back. So this is what happened. When these confidential scriptures left the assembly, the others went after them and said, oh, no, please, have we offend you? Don't go, please come back. And they came back, and then these scriptures began to speak, and they established that over the importance of Brahman, over the importance of impersonal liberation is bhakti. Pantastu koti sattavatsara sampragamyo vayoratapi manaso munipungavyavanam sopyasti yat prapadichinya vichincya tattve govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami. Yes, it is said that by the process of mental speculation, which is the process that is followed by the jnanis, by the impersonalists, of trying to figure out what is spirit, what is matter, neti. By that process, one cannot touch the tip of the toe of the Lord. It says also by the yogic process, by drilling the respiration, and somehow or other come to kumbhaka. There is the ingoing air and the outgoing air. Now in pranayam, you have to learn to retain the air. Not only breathe in, retain, I can still do longer because I'm a singer. Anyway, it takes too long. But so one learns to retain, and gradually one can practice and retain longer and longer. And then one can come to the point of kumbhaka, which is the equilibrium between the ingoing breath and the outgoing breath. And it is said, when yogis are able to stretch this time, they can hold their breath for a very long time, and they can actually live without breathing so much. They still need to breathe, but they can live for quite a long time. Yogis have been put under the ground for 3 weeks and came out alive. You try that for 3 minutes and it's over. Yeah, someone who's very good can maybe do 5, can maybe do 7 minutes, but then, start choking. I used to swim underwater the entire length of the swimming pool. So I always was able to hold my breath for a while. But kumbhaka is something else. Then you can keep for a long time. Prabhupada said yogis can do, and frogs can also do. Yeah. Frogs can also do this kumbhaka. Yeah. So if you practice too much yoga, then you have to be careful, because if you're not pure in heart, if you're not pure in heart, you might just wind up on the froggy side, and then you have to wait for a princess and all these things. Anyway, leaving that for what it is. The real matter is that, yes, this yogic process may be impressive, but it is material. It is simply a material power and a material science. In scripture, it is stated, Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakila, Ashanta. Chaitanya Charitamrita. You know it. Very good. Yes. So, Bhukti means those who enjoy the senses. The Mukti, those are looking for liberation. And the Siddhis, those who want mystic power. Wouldn't it be great if you had mystic power? If you could just manifest meals on the table without cooking. If you could just get money without going to the bank. Right there in the house, on the table. Stacks of money, just like that. Oh, wouldn't it be good? It would, wouldn't it? Yes, it would, wouldn't it? But that is mystic power. It's possible to get such mystic power. But the problem with this mystic power is that it will increase our material desires. Imagine, I was once in Mumbai in the Reserve Bank, and I had to bring a suitcase with cash which had to be deposited in the bank, and it had to be counted in the bank. So they sent me to a special room in the back in the bank, which was a counting room. And it was about as big as this temple room. And in the middle, there was a huge table. And all these people were sitting around the table. And then there were guards all around with machine guns, etc. The people that were counting, they had huge amounts of cash in front of them. And they're counting the cash. And then after counting it, they wrote it down and they pushed it towards the middle. And more and more. And then in the middle, this whole mountain of cash was building up. And it was all, and they were sitting there counting the cash and looking at the cash. A mountain of cash. And the atmosphere in that room was very tense. You could see everyone was looking at the cash. And there were crores and crores and crores on that table. Many, many crores. And the guards stood there with the machine guns. It was an interesting experience. Every room has an atmosphere, and you could cut the atmosphere in that room. There was tension. Money. Money is the honey. Yes, that's the problem. That when one has mystic power and all these things are easily available, it increases one's material desires. Therefore, even the siddhis, even those who have mystic perfections, they become obsessed with material enjoyment. They don't become detached. Oh, that's the siddhis. How about the muktis, those who are looking for liberation? They surely are detached. Now, they are attached to be detached. That's also a problem. I'm so detached. I'm so terribly detached. This hand has not touched money for 50 years. But my secretaries, they touch all the money for me. This hand never touches. But I'm using his hand. Yes. In this way. That's false detachment. So, when we are attached to being detached, then our detachment is not complete. It is called Falgu Vairagya. I was traveling in India, and I went to Gaya. Oh yes, Gaya, such a nice place. It is the place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, to that Vishnupad Mandir, where there is the print of Lord Vishnu in the mountain. And a temple is built around it, and they pour milk, and you can go there, and it is a place especially where people go to perform the Shraddha ceremony to get benefits for their departed relatives, and Nimai Pandit also went for his father. Alright, so I went to that place, it was very nice, and then I also heard there is a river, the Falgu river. I said, okay, let me go. It was hot. Garam, garam, bahut garam, jada garam, 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 jada garam. So, I thought, let me take a bath in the river. Since I'm here, place of pilgrimage, garam, 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 bath in the river will be good. So, I went to the river, no water. All sand. What's going on? This Falgu river, what kind of river is this? There is no water. Oh, I said to the local people, no water in your river. They said, no, you have to dig. You dig. I go, dig, yes. You dig, and there is water under the ground. Yeah, so I was digging, and then about 1.5 foot under the ground, there was water. It was an underground river. So, wow, an underground river. Yeah, you never heard of that, eh? Oh, yes. You also have underground rivers. And the Falgu river is one like that. Falgu Vairagya. Renunciation, but under the surface. Yes, the desires are still there. This is the renunciation when we are interested in renunciation for renunciation's sake. I want to be renounced. You're still a wannabe. Not a wallaby, but a wannabe. Yeah? You're still a wannabe. Yes? You want to be renounced. But when we are attached to Krishna, then it's not about being renounced. Then it is simply about attached to Krishna. Krishna is so wonderful. Krishna is so wonderful. You want to come and watch this movie? Huh? No, I have no time for these things. I'm too busy with Krishna. I want to do some service for Krishna. Oh, but this is the latest from Bollywood. Yes? Very nice. So, yes. Of course, some want to do something for Krishna and a little Bollywood as well. That's also there. That's another position. But then our attachment to Krishna, so we may be attached to Krishna and also attached to material things, to both. Now what do? That's a difficult position, because then you have to divide your energy. So much for Krishna, so much for me. You have to always weigh everything. And then sometimes it's so much for Krishna, take some back for me. What to do? What to do? Some difficulties. So this is creating some tension in spiritual life. Let us minimize what we need for ourselves. Let us simplify if we can. And let us use more for Krishna. That will be better, because then we get eternal credit. For the temporary we get material comfort. Big house for me, little room for Krishna. little. Very nice. Oh, yes. Very nice mandir. Bahut badhiya. Thoda chota. It's the cupboard. Anyway, it's okay. House for me, cupboard for Krishna. Some put Krishna right there in the middle in the living room. Just big altar right there. Boom. So, whoa, look at this. Others have a serious temple at home. Whatever it may be. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. We can try to it's not only about the temple. You can put Krishna in the living room, but actually still, not care much about Krishna. We can even live here in the temple and not care about Krishna. Not so much. We can care more about ourselves. So ultimately, it is what place are we giving Krishna in our heart, in our life? Really. So Bhagavad Gita is speaking about developing attachment to Krishna. Maya Shaktamana Partha Yogi Yunyan Matasrayaha. It is said that Ashaktamana, so we must develop the mind that always thinks about Krishna. So, the mind, it's whatever you put in the mind. They speak about impressions upon the mind. That is, of course, a metaphor. It was the idea that you could make impressions in clay. You walk on your sand and your feet make impressions. So that whatever happens, all different things that happen leave an impression in the mind, like a footprint in the mind. Yes, what happened yesterday? Yes, still a footprint in my mind. Oh, and last week another footprint in my mind. Oh yes, when I was young, in the back of my mind, many footprints, the when I was young footprints, and a whole, like a landscape full with prints, so many impressions stored in memory banks, and little by little, as you're getting old, it goes away. You're losing something. Yes. So what to do? These impressions, the process of devotional service is not to conquer them. So now I have all these materialistic impressions. Actually, in my country, I grew up and there was a particular advertisement for margarine on the TV, and they had a song, and I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to sing it, but it's still there. I try to get rid of this song for my whole life, my whole spiritual life. I'm trying to get rid of it, but it's there. It doesn't want to go. And I'm sure you also have some stupid song that's in the head, you know, some really stupid song, and you can't get rid of it, even if you try. It's still there, after so many years. So it's like this. Now, I have to become detached. So do I have to get rid of all these false impressions? What to do? I picked up all these rubbish impressions throughout my life. And now I have to conquer them one by one. Kick out this memory of this song. Impossible. It's like pushing a ball underwater. If you push a ball underwater, you can't keep it there. It comes back up on its own. It always wants to go back up. You're pushing it down, but one moment it slips from your hand. It wants to go back up. So all these impressions also, they come back into the forefront of our consciousness. Are we ever going to conquer them all? No. We can try push them down, but the only result will be Falgu Vairagya. They'll go under the surface and still be there. And just wait a while until something comes, oh Mr. Detachment, and they will again be reawoken. Somehow or other, the old impressions are woken up again. Oh no, I thought I got rid of this. No, I am back. Yes, this is the situation. So what do we do now? Don't worry. Don't worry about such things, Prabhu. We have the solution. The solution is simply fill the mind with impressions about Krishna. More impressions about Krishna. Fill it. And these impressions will just take over. And these impressions will push out all the other impressions. Completely. Until one day they'll just go away. And that is our system. So our system is not to overcome our detachment, our material attachment. Our system is fill the consciousness with remembrance of Krishna. Fill our life with service. Fill our life with remembrance of Krishna. And then all material things go away. Therefore, we're not looking at, how great a yogi are you? You know. No, you know. I'm getting up earlier than early. Acha. Not only early. I know 4 o'clock is early. I'm getting up earlier than early. Oh, how early are you getting up? I'm getting up at 3. That is nothing. Only 3. So lazy. I get up at 2. Acha. At 2. Oh, that is nothing. I get up at 1. Oh, 1, 1 is for old ladies. I'm getting up at midnight. Every night, midnight, I get up. Yes. No, midnight so late. I'm getting up at 11. Yeah. Oh, that is nothing. I don't go to bed at all. Never. Yes. Very nice. Very nice. You are a great yogi. You are very determined. Not going to bed at all. Oh. And still awake. Impressive. You are a wonderful yogi. But this doesn't give you any attachment to Krishna whatsoever. Okay, you're not sleeping, but are you attached to Krishna? That is the question. Your detachment, your vairagya is extraordinary, but what about attachment to Krishna? Yes, you put so much emphasis on the austerity, but no emphasis on developing the attachment to Krishna. Now do service for Krishna. Do more service for Krishna. Oh yes, you get up at 4, that's fine. Yes, and some days even somehow or other it got a little later. Oh, how is it possible? And Prabhupada said, my father used to get up a little later. Because my father, he would have a shop and people would come in the evening, in textiles, and then he would come home and then he would still do puja. So it would get late at night and he would get up a little later in the morning. Still, Prabhupada said my father was a pure devotee. Oh, how is it possible? The essence is not about our austerity. The essence is not about how cold is the water that you're using for your bath. Is it cold? No. You're putting some water in the bucket and then you put ice? No. You're not putting ice for bath? Oh, this is not good. You have to put lots of ice. And in the winter in Melbourne, you go in the ocean. Yes, these things. You show you're a man. Yes. But will this give us any love for Krishna? No. It will not give us any love for Krishna. No, love for Krishna simply comes from devotional service. So let us make that our focus. Devotional service to Krishna, hearing about Krishna, and all these things. Then at one point, we don't care about these material things anymore. They look empty and bleak, you know. It all looks like a waste of time, material things. Yeah, saying like, you know, like Prahlad. Prahlad, you want to come and play? Prahlad was too busy. Prahlad didn't come and play. Prahlad was worshipping Krishna. He was remembering Krishna. Even Prahlad, come for prasad. It rhymes, but Prahlad didn't come because he was too absorbed in remembering Krishna. So is described in Bhagavatam. So he was fully absorbed in attachment to Krishna. Oh when will that day be ours? Oh when will I be detached? Will I be attached to Krishna? It will come automatically, simply by being absorbed in devotional service. Okay, I'll end. Any questions, any comments? It was too clear. I didn't create any. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj, for the wonderful. Maharaj, you mentioned about the detachment and attachment. Now, in doing the practice, so should we concentrate more on the attachment or on the detachment? Because Bhagavatam also mentions about the endeavor and the mercy. So if you go
The last bit I cannot hear that.
The Bhagavatam also mentions about endeavor and the mercy. In the 2 short in the Damodar Leela. So should we do any endeavor to develop detachment or just concentrate on attachment to Krishna?
We are greatly entangled when in material life, when suddenly transcendental knowledge comes to us. And there are many things that we did wrong before and that now have to change. So we have to cultivate a little bit of detachment from those things that were wrong. Eating the wrong things, sleeping in the wrong way, everything in the wrong way. all right, we have to develop some detachment to adjust these things. That's why Srila Prabhupada focused 4 regulative principles very clearly. So it is very clear that everyone can see, oh, here I have to cultivate some detachment. Oh, I like my tandoori, ... No more, no more tandoori. No, sorry. No. Not that ... tandoori ... No. And that has to go. So what to do now? That is... so some cutting is required. And that is some renunciation and a little painful, and we have to cultivate some detachment there. But that is difficult to maintain. Difficult to maintain if we do not develop attachment to Krishna. So the focus has to be on attachment. Otherwise we'll go back to our tandoori one day. Again, tandoori ... No. This is not good. No. So, like this, the focus is on attachment to Krishna. Therefore, the focus is on devotional service to Krishna, because that attachment is the result of devotional service. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna to you too.
You mentioned that Prabhupada's father, he used to get up late because he would finish late. But then at the same time, like, he was a pure devotee, of course, but then I was reading one of Prabhupada's letters, and he was telling to some of the devotees that you must get up in the morning for Mangala Arati and chant your rounds in the morning, otherwise there's no chance of advancing spiritually.
So what do we do now? It seems that sometimes there are contradictory statements, and how do we resolve them? Do we have to bring all Prabhupada's statements together, study them and look at the controversy, and then try to draw one conclusion out of that? That's my question to you.
Nice. We'll make it easy.
Yes, but that's not how it works. Because that would be fundamentalism, to reduce everything to one conclusion. Rather, the point is that all these things have their relevance according to time, place and circumstance. Right? So in case of Prabhupada's father, because he was a grihastha, had to maintain his family, had a shop that was open late night, was still doing puja at night, etc. Then he had to also sleep sometimes. So in his life, it had to be a little later, because he's a grihastha. Now, if you live in a temple, a brahmachari life, right, it's already different. There, of course, temple is temple, right? There is a Mangalarti, and that should be maintained. Right? So brahmachari is just trained, no matter what, go to Mangalarti. Except, there are exceptions to that rule, yeah? Where Prabhupada says, first health, then sadhana, then service. So when health does, that's not, I have a sniffle, oh, I have a sniffle, now I have a great excuse. Now I don't have to go, right? But when there are serious health conditions, then maybe not good. Then maybe one should actually rest. Yeah. Then there's an exceptional circumstance. So, in this way, one should not take one instruction of Srila Prabhupada, carve it in a stone slab, right? Carve it in, take the stone slab, hold it up, and hit other people over the head with that stone slab. That we should not do. That's not good. We should look at the different instructions and sort of in a balanced way. But obviously, Mangalarti has been emphasized as something very important and something we should all strive for. And the Brahma Muhurta, early in the morning, that particular time has been highlighted as the ideal time for spiritual life. And it doesn't matter whether you are married and have 3 children and 7 grandchildren and 55 nieces and cousins and 17 aunties and God knows what else you might have, you know, on the sides of your in-laws, right? Whatever you have, right? All these things are no excuse for missing the Brahma Muhurta. If you miss the Brahma Muhurta, you miss something. Definitely. Having said that, I missed Mangalarti today because I came from London and I'm 9 hours behind. It's midnight right now. I'm sitting here at midnight looking at you all from, gosh, you're up late tonight. I'm just now going for a midnight snack. Yeah? That'd be good. Looking forward to that. Anyway, so after 24 hours of flying, I thought, considering health, I thought, maybe get up a little later today. I could have pushed myself and said, come on, you know, go, and I could have gone. But then I'm thinking, what if one day something pops in my head, you know? Swami had a stroke because he pushed too much at 66. So balancing everything also makes sense, young man. I mean, it's good to be austere, but when your leg falls off, then maybe you should screw it back on. You know what I'm talking about. But Mangalarti is a good thing. Definitely. Desirable. As much as really possible, we should really go. And at home, we should rise early. Yeah, Prabhupada.
Just going to make a small comment.
Please.
I remember in the Gurukul, Mayapur Gurukul, way in the 70s, and Prabhupada, he started Mangalarti, but he didn't come. So I asked the teacher, there's so much emphasis on the going to Mangalarti. Prabhupada started it, and why isn't he coming to Mangalarti? So that's my teacher here in Agartha. And he said, how dare you can say like that? Yeah, Prabhupada, you know, he doesn't need Mangalarti. He's always thinking of Krishna. So then he explained it, that we need it. Prabhupada is always, for us, we need the regular principles. But Prabhupada himself is always in front of Krishna.
Yeah, I always say the weak devotees, they must go to Mangalarti every day. When you're really strong, then you don't have to go. But who is really strong? Most of us are somewhat weak. So as long as you're weak, you better go. Otherwise become more weak. Anyway, it is, I think it's time to end. And thank you very much. Because Mangalarti time is over, it's prasadam time now. So, and everyone comes for that. No problem. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.